News Radio 1040 WHO Studios. It is halftime, and well, let's just put it the way it is. Ross, that's an ass kicking. I mean, that is one quarter of football we haven't seen Iowa play in a long time, as they score 31 unanswered points to lead 34-7 at halftime.
That's fun. That's fun football. You know what? Punting isn't winning. Interception is winning.
And they
5 interceptions. Did you get Travis?
Yeah, 4 interceptions.
They got a 5th one right at the end of the half.
No, he was wrong. They were you were listening to Gary, and he was wrong. They had 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery, and that was the 4th interception of the game. But yeah, so 5 turnovers in the first half and lots of penalties. What do we say, Ross? What can destroy teams? Turnovers and penalties, and Maryland has destroyed itself with turnovers and penalties.
And you hit the other one, Travis, that we hadn't mentioned early on, and that's penalties, which has been a huge part of this game. Even early on, when Maryland was putting that drive together, they had a 3rd down and short. They had that 4th and 1 where it looked like they were trying to draw the Hawkeyes off sides. I'm not sure they were trying to draw the Hawkeyes off sides because they false started, so they were going to go for that play. They were running a play there. Huge penalties. 8 penalties for 66 yards. Hawkeyes, even 3 for 25 is a little bit high for a coach, Kirk Ferentz coach football team. So domination in that first half.
You know, it's interesting because when teams wear all black against Iowa, they tend to lose and they tend to throw a lot of interceptions. Here's Tagovailoa's line, 14 of 21, 4 picks. He was really efficient after the first quarter. He had a disastrous second quarter, and you got to wonder how long this guy's going to even last in the game.
Yeah, I would imagine he lasts. Listen, I would have thought the same thing about Brock Purdy at halftime, though. I would have said, well, there's no way you're going to see the backup quarterback. I don't know, Travis. I would think that we see Tagovailoa.
He needed to collect himself, Ross. Brock Purdy needed to collect himself and find himself mentally, and I don't know if Tagovailoa has to do that or not.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will. The Hawkeyes, or Phil Parker has a tendency to make quarterbacks want to do that.
Interesting. Let's look at another number, and it's not quite over 100 yards yet, but Iowa with 92 rushing yards, and I think that's huge because you know who else we've seen in this game. And it's good to see, and that is Ivory Kelly Martin, because we didn't know where he was mentally. 2 weeks ago with the fumbles, we wondered how much that kid was even going to be able to rush, and whether they would give him another shot, and they have, and that's what's good to see.
Yeah, Travis, I thought that same thing when I saw him getting some carries early on. Instantly went back to those conversations we'd had. Really nice to see the coaching staff put some faith back in him again. I'm glad to see that.
There you see Tyler Goodson with 62 yards, Ivory Kelly Martin with 33, Potabom with 5. And look at the receiving. Arlen Bruce has really here you got a true freshman. Last week it was Keegan Johnson. This week it's Arlen Bruce. Already 5 receptions, Ross, and he's looked really solid.
Yeah, the young guys, man, there's something about this, Travis. In fact, when we play that Arlen Bruce touchdown, you're going to hear that Gary and Ed both kind of go back to last week and talk about Keegan Johnson. They put Arlen Bruce the fourth and Keegan Johnson in kind of the same breath with each other, and I think there's a reason for that. For whatever reason, Spencer Petras has a lot of confidence in those two guys, and that's a good thing.
Kirk says, you know what, I'm very happy to be wrong already. And by the way, if you have comments, go ahead and leave them. You can leave them on Twitter. You can leave them on Facebook. You can leave them on YouTube. We're live all over the place. Kirk says, very happy to be wrong already with my 24-14 Iowa score prediction. By the way, if you bet the under on this game, which I believe was 43.5, you're probably sweating some bullets right now. You are sweating some bullets. Alex says, offensive juggernaut, go Iowa Hawkeyes. I don't know if it's an offensive juggernaut as much as it's just a defensive beatdown. I mean, when you force 5 turnovers in a half, you're going to lose the football. I mean, if you turn the ball over 5 times, you're going to lose the football game. It's just you're going to, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're playing a team that plays the exact opposite of the Iowa Hawkeyes, because the Hawkeyes just aren't going to do this. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, chances of this football team giving up 35 points is very slim. So this Maryland's offense is still going to try in the second half to put the ball up and move the ball down the field. Don't know what this is going to turn out, man. Hawks might end up with a couple more interceptions. Maryland could come back and maybe put 21, 28 on the board. I think that'd be about the extent of what I'm afraid of.
That ain't happening. This Iowa
defense.
I
don't think that happens. I'm just saying, even in a worst case scenario, 2 more touchdowns over the course of the next 20 minutes or next 30 minutes wouldn't be crazy.
Brandon says, Travis, quit taking jabs at Iowa State. Who's taking jabs at Iowa State? All I said is that if you wear all black, you tend to lose and throw interceptions. That's the only thing I'm trying to say here. All right. Jeremy Masterson says, I see a lack of maturity in Maryland, dumb penalties, and they just don't seem to have their heads in the game. And this is when you're ready for prime time, right? When you're ready. They were 4-0. We had questions about the schedule they played. This is a team that just was not ready for this type of stage, Ross.
Yeah, lack of maturity, lack of discipline. There's a lot of things you can put on there, but when you're seeing a team that turns the ball over and makes these penalties at almost all of these inopportune times, when you look at those penalties, it's amazing where they pile up in places that really shoot this team in the foot. So those are the types of things that you just don't see from mature, I think is a fair word, disciplined teams.
Well, we're talking about maturity. Iowa State fans having a hard time being mature tonight because all over Twitter, and they're doing it already, is that they're calling these 5 turnovers gifts. Listen, I know what you're saying, and maybe that's just a defense being in the right position at the right time and being able to read what that offense is doing and react to that. So you shouldn't have to apologize for the turnovers that you force. All right. Or if you forced a quarterback to make a dumb read and a dumb play, that's not a gift. That's just a really good defense. Do I need to remind you of the turnovers that Iowa forced against Iowa State? I'm just saying. I don't know if we need to go back there, but tonight's not the night to throw stones. It's just not. You lost at Baylor. I mean, it's not the night to throw stones.
Tagovailoa had 1 interception going into this game. One. He's not a guy that gives up gifts. I mean, are those great balls that are no, they're not. The Hawkeyes took advantage of those mistakes and then turned those mistakes into points, which is more important. So, yeah, that Scott, that does come across as as kind of being a sour fan base right now, man. They're not great balls. But the Hawkeyes are kicking. They're just dominating this game.
So everybody knows that Sean's the better here. I mean, I know Sean. Did you get your bet in before the game? By the way,
I did not. No.
No, but Sean. Everybody want to know that Sean. Everybody wants to let you know that life's too short to bet the under.
Heard that.
Yeah. Our good buddy Robert Corder. You remember Robert from the old?
Oh, Robert.
Yes. Robert says if they are gifts, the Iowa defense is definitely the customer service booth at Walmart the day after Christmas.
I like it, Robert. We miss you, buddy. Good to see from you, man.
Yeah, no, and that's a great thing about these Facebook Lives is we can kind of connect with people we haven't heard from.
I see Robert on Facebook from time to time, man. I'm glad you're listening, Robert. Great to see from you, buddy.
So, Ross and I both kind of have the same feeling when it comes to Kirk Ferentz when he's got a lead like he does. We watched almost a 2-hour first half, and we are thinking we might just see a really boring third and fourth quarter.
Going to see a lot of runs.
You are 100% correct. But
Monty Pottebaum lead left, Monty Pottebaum lead right.
Nothing wrong with that. You know what? I hope Iowa can get to 200 yards rushing. I hope this offense puts over 400 yards, and I hope they can hold that Maryland offense that was averaging, 500 yards a game to below 250. That would be great. They're going to give up they're going to give up one big play here in the second half. I believe that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I say that I could see them giving up 21 because you might get one more extended drive and one big play, and then all of a sudden you've given up 21 points. Still not a big deal. This is it'd be a good game to see Alex Padilla, good game to see Gavin Williams, maybe even LaShawn Williams.
Ross, I don't know if I've ever told you, but it's something new tonight. It's WHO After Dark, and we're taking it from the old HBO After Dark, right? But who knows what's going to happen on WHO After Dark? As Soundoff probably won't start till about midnight tonight. We're going to be on until 2 a.m. That's right. You're hearing us right. 2 a.m. Ross is ready. I'm ready. Just write down this number right now, 284-1040. That's 284-1040 is the number to call. It's been a great start to the game. We got 2 more quarters left to go. He's Ross Peterson. I'm Travis Justice. We will see you at the end of the third quarter. See you, buddy.
See you, bud.